Yeah, though in critical care we practice a little bit of anesthesia and more also. Then I was in Apollo Kenapet for some time and moved on to Sims Hospital, Madapadi. And I'm stay put there in Sims. Our ICU is uh, 50 bedded ICU and with all specialties. So I at least want to know what you people are doing. You're all MBBS students. Which year to which year? First year? No. Second year? Okay. Which colleges? Mada Medical College. All from Mada? Uthukumaran. Then KMC. Then, so from all city colleges. Out of Chennai? Nobody out of Chennai. Okay. So today my topic is what? You went through the schedule? Yes or no? No. Stress. Do you have stress? Do you have stress? Or at least stress-free person can lift their hand who has not had stress. Nobody. All of you have stress. சிரிக்கிறத பார்த்தா ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ங்கிற மாதிரியே தெரியல. I want this to be a interactive session. Okay. It is not just a one-sided. It is not going to be a monologue. I want it to be a both-way interactive session, and you will also be giving inputs. So you will have to also think. What are your everyday stressors? Yeah. See, the fan sound is quite a bit, so I want you to be louder. Yeah, whoever is answering, be loud. There is no right answer, there is no right wrong answer. You are not going to be penalized. And nobody please laugh at what the other person is saying. Getting? Getting ready to? Getting ready for clinical postings is a stress. Yes. Exams. Yes. Then everyday stressors. What are your everyday stressors? How many of you get up at 4 o'clock? How many of you get up at 5 o'clock? Okay. How many of you get up at 6 o'clock? This side doesn't get up at all. How many of you get up at 7 o'clock? Okay. See, nothing wrong. It is how each one is dividing their time to work for themselves. How many of you get up at 8 o'clock? Okay. Uh, have you been late to college or your classes, your clinics? Have you been stressed? Have you been stressed that you were not able to negotiate the traffic? That you are not able to reach on time, or you may run late? Curriculum. How many of you have gone for a test without studying? More than 90%. It's a stress, isn't it? These are everyday stressors. All of us cross through. Now you tell me, can we do something about it? These are everyday stressors. Can we do something about it? Yes, isn't it? Why don't we do? Laziness, unwillingness. It's okay. Chalta hai. Isn't it? So these are stressors which we can address. which we can do something about, which we can correct. So we have nobody else to blame other than ourselves. And we can take a proactive action and reduce the stress to ourselves. Can I have your attention? There's something is happening. Any, I quickly finish. Please give your attention. Now, there are some stressors which are out of your control. Everyday stressors. Can you name anything? Your hostel food is bad. It is out of your control, isn't it? There will be things that are not in your control as everyday stressors. Is there an answer? Huh? Sickness before exam, yes. That is another stress, but it is not in your control. I was very sick before my chemistry exam during my 12th. And then I was very sick during my Viva for D&D. I thought I won't go for the exam. I traveled all the way to Pune, and the day of exam, the whole night, previous night, the food didn't agree. I kept on vomiting, nausea. Then I told my father I won't go. He told you just attend, and I cleared. So these are stressors which are not in our control. So we have to understand that there are stressors which we can correct and reduce our cumulative stress. There are some stressors which we need to accept. They come our way. But how best we can face them. Next is, many stresses come out of lack of discipline, our discipline. So we have to readjust, remodel our life and lifestyle changes. Relationship, relationship stressors. What do I mean by relationship stressors? Any idea? What do I mean by relationship stressors? Why are these two very dignitaries coming? Why are these two empty? Somebody can come and fill. Everybody is looking behind. Nobody wants to look at my eye. What a relationship. When I say relationship, what comes to your mind? Yes, you can tell. You, black shirt. There's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. See, your answer will help me. When I say relationship, what comes to your mind? Yeah. But isn't friendship a relationship? Friendship is also a relationship. So, relationships can be stress. One is friendship, another is the boy girl romantic relationship. Over a period, we mean that relationship means it's only a boy girl relationship or it's a love relationship. It is not. Does friendship cause stress? I am happy to hear a frank yes. If you are not a good chooser of friends, it can cause stress. We need to be able to identify good people, safe people as friends. And in turn, we have the responsibility to be safe people as friends. Can jealousy be there among friends? Can jealousy be there among friends? Does it exist? Yes. Then is it a friendship? Actually, it is not a friendship. We may call it like that. Because then it will be actually a source of stress. Because always there will be a competition. Can you trust a person who is competitive with you? Will you share when the medal exam is there, or what book you are studying secretly? Then it is not a friendship, isn't it? So when it is your turn to choose friends, identify safe people with whom you can also grow, where you can be frank, where you can be truthful, and where you can draw strength from each other. And in turn, are you a safe friend? Am I cunning? Am I devious? We always project all these onto the other person, but we can also be those people. That is reality, isn't it? So, in turn, we also need to be people who let others flourish. So, when a friendship is with the wrong kind of people, it will cause lot of stress, short term stress and a long term stress. I have two friends. When they both connect, it's always a subtle competition, each one trying to prove who is one up and who has got the better deal in life. And it's always a rivalry. Who has studied more, who is able to answer in the clinics, and who is not able to answer, and who got the PG first, who got well placed. It is not actually a friendship. So beware who your friends are, because they will set the tone for many things in our life. And in turn, we have a responsibility to be a good friend. We have a responsibility to be a good friend, to be a safe person. See, you tell something to your friend, and that friend goes and tells everybody around your weakness. It is not the mark of good friendship. Same thing in our turn also. We also cannot go around and propagate anybody's weakness. We cannot ridicule. Laughing over something is different from ridiculing somebody and laughing and calling it a joke. Putting down somebody and laughing, it is not a joke. And more so, this happens many times among friends. They put down people on their physical attributes. Somebody is fat, somebody is thin, somebody is dark, somebody has got short hair, somebody has got long hair, somebody has got an unkempt uh, appearance. None of us can ridicule over those things. These can become stressors. But is there something you can do about it? Is there something you can do about it? Friendship related stressors. Is there something you can do about it? Huh? Yes. If something is not okay, if some friendship is not building you, if your friend is encouraging you to smoke, is it a good friendship? No. If your friend is encouraging you to do the wrong things, in the wrong things, many things come. It will cause a lot of stress. It may seem jolly in the beginning, but it will set the life in a different tone. So, can we do something about it? Yes, we can do something about it. When we identify something is not wrong, try to maintain a distance. Now, coming to the other aspect, relationship, other aspect of relationship, the boy-girl relationship. Can it cause stress? Can a relationship with a boy or with the opposite sex cause stress? Can it cause stress? Yes, you can answer again. This is a factual general question. Can a relationship with the opposite sex cause stress? Yes. Why? People get into a relationship to have thrills, isn't it? Then why does it cause stress? All of you watch reels, shorts. I'm more well versed than somebody of my age. So you very well know answer. Does it cause stress? Yes. Why does it cause stress? Think. Squeeze your brain cells. Yeah. Huh? More expectation. First and foremost, there is a pressure to please. There is a pressure to please, isn't it? You have to dress in a particular way, you have to smile in a particular way, you have to behave in a particular way. Then only the other person. Then you have to behave in a particular way. That is stress. And then again expectations. There can be conflicts. And finally, in that relationship, what is the percentage of them ending in marriage? What is the percentage of or possibility of the people in that relationship ending in marriage? 100%? No. 80%? No. 60%? 40%? No. 20%? Maybe. In the 20% அவ்வளோ stress தேவையா? See, by then we would have squandered, not wasted our emotions, our time, our resources, and one of them will be a spendthrift. One of them has to spend. I hear that most often the boys spend. I don't know if it is true. Getting coffee, getting gifts, and if it is Valentine's Day, they have to think of something and getting something nice. It's a drain, isn't it? Can you do something about it? Can you do something about this stress? Can you do something about this stress? Yes. Anything that is not going to be productive, anything that is not going to build you, is not just going to build you, it is only going to drag you. And this stress you can avoid. Imagine the number of heartbreaks. And when in a relationship it is very difficult. If one person decides to cut off, is it very easy? If one person decides to cut off and the other person does not decide to cut off, what happens? Huh? Yeah, this is happening or not? We are seeing around, no? It causes intense stress. They either harm themselves or they harm the other. And they drag the families also at that time. When they are entering, they won't ask the family. Very secretly they enter. But when things go wrong, the families are also hurt. This whole thing is avoidable. Because there is a time when this can be thought of. And this time, student period, you can keep it as stress-free as possible if you can help it, so that it can be a more productive period. And lack of boundaries. Normally in a group of friends, one person will be bossy or one or two will gang up and be bossy, and one or two will be the doormats, saying yes to everything. One person will decide which movie to go to, which class to go to, or which bus to take, or which session to attend, and everybody is expected to comply. Have you come across in class groups? One person will be bossy, they will dictate everything, and one person will be expected to obey. Have you come across or not? Yes. So learn to draw boundaries. I'm not saying you should say no, I'm not saying you should say yes, but think for yourself. Do not lose your individuality. and be bold to say no. They may be unhappy initially, but then hearing a no from you, they will be used to it. That it is not out of hatred, it is not out of ill will, but no is also a part of life. And in turn, we should also be able to take a no graciously. Somebody saying no, we need to respect that. So it is mutual. When I have the freedom to say no, I should give the other person also the freedom to say no. So when it comes to relationships, it means that it can be a friendship or it can be a conjugal relationship, but they bring along stress. And when it is a stress that does not build you, it is better to be kept in check. Same way with the opposite sex, it brings lot of stressors. So beware. So what is the first stress that we saw? The first one, what I mentioned, everyday stressors. In everyday stressors, there are things that you can control, there are things that you cannot control. Things that we can control, we can help with, we have to have the discipline to address that. No point in grumbling over that. But things that we cannot control, we'll have to see how best we can face that and get over and above that and make that stressor also work for us. Second one, what is the second stressor? Relationships. So relationships means, yes, here I am not touching, when it comes to relationships, it is also a relationships with your family. I am not touching it here, but I'll stick to just friendships and the boy-girl relationships, where we need to have a perspective, protect your individuality, be a safe person and associate also with a safe person. You also need to enable somebody to flourish and you need to associate with people who will also let you flourish. And the third is goal stressors. What are your goals at this point of time? What are your goals at this point of time? Of course, some of you are in the third year. So at this point, I don't know whether you will be thinking about PG. Does the thought of PG come to you? Yes, isn't it? Even second year, third year, because PG has become a mandatory thing. So in our goals, PG is one goal. Next, what else? Career? Not thought of career yet. Career. See, because you are thinking of career only, you are studying hard, applying for this course and getting into that course, isn't it? So, goal stresses can be there. There can be an underlying stress. What will I do for PG? How easy is it? And now, actually, there is a cultural change from what we faced in our time. In our time, there were no private colleges at all. So, it was only an entrance getting into, and it was not this difficult. Now, very difficult to get across the NEET also. Uh, so those stresses can be there. I don't know how much it is impacting you at this point. But as days go by, as you come to final year, as you come to start doing internship, goal careers also can cause a stress. What PG to do? Then which direction I should take? Should I do clinical or non-clinical? And how will I prepare? Where should I do PG? All these things can cause stress. There is another major uh, goal. What is that? Yes, yes, it is a real thing. Right from the age of 16 or even 13 these days, people start thinking about marriage, a life partner. Is there or not? See, are realities. There is nothing to feel shy or ashamed about it. This thought also can cause stress. And as days go by, as age goes by, all your friends are getting married and you are not yet married, and time is uh, lapsing, then that can cause stress. Or what kind of a person will I get? Will I get the person of my dreams? Will I get a life of my dreams? Can be a stress. Can we do something about it? Can we do something about it? Yes or no? We will answer this question in the next session. So, stress is a good thing or a bad thing? Stress is a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah? Yes, that's right. To some extent, stress is good because stress causes adrenaline rush. Stress causes us to perform better. If you notice before the exam, what you couldn't study for 3 months, 6 months, you will finish in one day or even half an hour. That is because of the stress, which enhances our ability. Suddenly, your brain cells have become neuroplastic. Suddenly, it has expanded. Suddenly, it has started absorbing everything. Isn't it? Developing study goals, developing excellence goals. There is stress, but it is a good stress. So, to some extent, stress means there is life. When we are dead, dead in spirit, complacent, no life, no aim, no goal, that kind of a non-stress existence will not work. It will not lead us anywhere. There are some characters also. So when is stress bad? When is stress bad? We are saying to some extent stress is good. But when is stress bad? When it starts destroying us, when it starts making us dysfunctional or non-functional, taking away every kind of motivation, taking away every bit of energy, it is not a good stress. And that is the time we need to seek help. Seek help in the sense it may be a good friend, it may be a parent, it can be your sibling, and above all, there is one help which is available. What is that? There is another stress which I did mention. At present, I don't know if there's a problem. Finances can be a source of stress. How am I going to pay my way through? All these can be a stress. How to de-stress? How to de-stress? Yeah? Yeah. Doing in some correctable stressors, we saw that if we are able to shape up our lives, if we are able to correct the things which are causing a negative stress, means if I am always late, I can regulate myself. I can be more disciplined. If I have that pre-exam stress, I can time myself well and try to be more prepared. It will take away a lot of stress. So we can correct this. There are some things definitely in life which will cause stress which are not in our control. And those are the times a strength of a person is required. And the strength of a person comes from only one source. What is that source? Whether we believe or not, whether we draw or not, God is there, sovereign, ready to help, willing to hear our prayers, responding to us continuously, whether we hear or not, he is there. And this trust is important. However big a problem may look, imagine how the problem would be 10 years down the line. Many things will hardly seem to matter. Your closest friend has ditched you, or you have failed, or any other problem. Think about it. 5 years later, 10 years later, it will hardly be a problem. At that point of time, things will look as if they are overwhelming. And more than anything, it is God who is holding us. Remember that, acknowledge that, and feel that in your day-to-day life. So we will move on to the next session. And normally we do marriage seminars and premarital seminars together with my husband. So we move on to the next topic. So what is a premarital mean? Premarital session. What does it mean? What does it encompass? Yes. Yeah. Before marriage, what? All of you are before marriage only. Unless any of you are married. Anybody married here in this group? No. So what is premarital session comprise of? Yes? Huh? To choose the right person. Then throw your answers.
To choose the right person here. It's not to choose the right person. It is to that's also there. But in terms of choice, here we are not going to say, hey, you marry her, you marry, not like that. It is to just guide you when you make a choice.
Yeah. So what does it mean? Premarital session. What does it mean? Yes, you are all thinking people. This is all abstract thinking. What you read in book is a point by point, 5 points, 10 points. This is abstract. Come up with answers. You have to learn to think not only what is in the book, but also beyond the book. What is the etiology? What is the differential? Not just that. IQ is needed. Something else is also needed. What is that? IQ is required. What else is required? I have given you a hint. EQ is required. What is EQ? What is EQ? Emotional quotient. What is FQ?
Financial quotient.
Huh?
Financial quotient.
What is FQ?
Financial.
Financial quotient. See, as doctors, we are dumb when it comes to learning about finances, including me. It is required. One thing all of us need to be careful is that when we enter medicine, we think that is the world. Definitely there is lots to study, but that is not the world. It's only one dimension. There are many other dimensions. And most important is common sense, which is required in loads. Then only it will bring even medicine into perspective. So anyway, moving on to the topic. You asked a question. I asked a question and you said that answer. You will agree with the answer.
So I clarified. It is not to choose. It is to help you make a choice. In the sense when you sit down and write and calculate, you will know some formulas to apply.
Guidelines and recommendations. Have you come across guidelines and recommendations? In every theory you study, it is about guidelines and recommendations, isn't it? International guidelines, recommendations, statements. Everywhere you have to study that. So these are some guidelines.
Okay. Uh, check. My name is Moses, married to Kala. We are married for 27 years. We have two children. Uh, our son is 25, daughter is 20. And I'm basically an engineer. Now into valuation. Valuation means, when I see that Adidas Ultra Boost, I know how much it is. So, like that, I value machines. Hey, good shoe.
See, when I got married in the beginning, he started his career with quality control. So in his industry, they were making solenoid valves and they have to pass through quality. Every piece they'll have to assess and see if there is if it fits into all the norms. So at home also, anything that I buy and bring, immediately you would assess and say this circle is wrong, or this stitch is bad, or this fabric is bad. I would flaunt that I made a good purchase.
And my choice also.
And immediately he would find something wrong. I never knew these things existed. I never knew that there was something called a good stitch and good material or a good cut in a dress or in a plate, a ceramic plate, the round or the design if it is not right, or a wire or a fan, if something is not fixed all right. All that his eye would immediately go to it. And the first thing he found not okay was when we were getting married, he said, get fresh flowers. I come from a different background, and for me, everything has to be value for money. When I asked for fresh flowers, it was very expensive. And for how long? For how long are you going to use? Huh? One day. கையில பொக்கே எவ்வளவு நேரம் பிடிக்க போறீங்க 3 hours. Any wedding is going to go on for 3 hours. 1 hour. And for that 1 hour, my mind did not accept that I have to spend so much. So I went to Paris, got a nice plastic bouquet, and I thought that I made a very wise purchase and it can stay for long. All these were my thoughts.
And in the church, when the bride comes, bridal march, we turn and look, and I see that flower. And when she's walking close, slowly, my eyes are only on the flower. And I know it is.
And his thought was, how can I trust a girl who said something and could not even keep that?
And it was too late to church. Okay. I said, we have a daughter who is 20. Her constant question with me is, Appa, when can I have boyfriends? When can I have boyfriends? Friends. See, nowadays, if I like somebody, we will write something like this and slip it. We call that love letter.
Those were our ancient days.
Okay, that's how the communication was those days. Now that's not. Now everything is there in this. Okay, you push a message, and now we can have bulk messages. You can push it to 50 people and see who responds kindly, well, and then answers.
It's very easy to dating apps also.
So it's very difficult. Difficult not for the one who is sending and receiving, difficult for the father. Okay. So I tell my daughter, that's the time. And next question is, when is the time? Okay. Now I can't really like the geometry I can say, 23, 24. But anyway, now I have just pushed it to another 4 years. Let's see what happens. Now the urge is there from what age?
The attraction to the opposite sex.
Is from what age? Huh? 15. As young as 11, 12. Even before you hit the teenage, that desire is there. Now that's normal. That is nothing to be feel yucky about, or that I am not spiritual. That is why this mind is coming to me. But look at her; she is not even bothered about that. Nothing like that. It is common. That's how the changes happen within us. Now the issue is the choice. Name some of the close relationships, parents, siblings, grandparents. Okay, sometimes neighbors. When you are living in a very close community, neighbors, and sometimes it is the extended family, the tribe, your tribe. Now, these things we cannot choose, and we haven't chosen. We just one day we were born into it. And they said, this is mother, this is father, this is our tribe, this is our neighbor, this is our older brother, older sister. And we started accepting it. But this is one relationship which is as close or even closer than that. But the choice is given in our hands. Something we choose 24. Then it becomes one, it's very easy. I can choose. Okay, that way. It is also equally shuddering. What do you do? In case I make a mistake, if only my father choose for me, if only my somebody choose for me. So it's a two-edged sword. On one side it is full freedom. On another side, full risk. So how do we maneuver this? Is the challenge. Now, then, how we normally get attracted? Huh? You say something. So, yes, something also. Looks good. Looks. Then what else? Huh? Character. How many of you get attracted to character?
Character means what do you mean?
You have to see, you have to say about the priorities, which is the top post. He said looks. Brilliant. Mostly there is an accepted answer. Looks. What would be the next? There's something? What would be next? Looks. Then say the order of learning. Generally. Height, the physique could be height, your muscular or all. Okay, physique, looks, physique, then status, yes, status, and status are double. Okay, good, money, then what else?
Gold medals.
Caste. Caste. Okay, caste. Okay, next. Anything else? Cooking. Oh. Sorry, cooking. But how will you know that? See, when you meet somebody on the road, in the church, or in a public wedding, how will you know somebody cooks? Maybe some news. Somebody saying.
They won't be in the level of strangers. அப்போதைக்கு பேசி பழகி இல்ல.
Okay, what else?
Our children are asking, how can we marry strangers?
Huh? Cooking. Then what else?
Talents.
Talents. Yes. If somebody plays guitar, you understand? Somebody sings well, man.
Speak well.
Somebody can speak good very good accent and the right words, good etiquettes. Oh, please, thank you, welcome. Huh? Wow, what a nice person. Somebody opens the door for you. இதெல்லாம் வந்து these are things. Now, when I was at your age, one of my professors got married just then. And he was telling me, and I was just asking, sir, how to get married, how to choose, blah, blah, blah. Then he is saying, Moses, now itself we start praying. Now, the problem with praying, is there any problem with praying? How to pray? Okay. Imagine, no. Okay. Okay. Prayer. How to pray? Is there any technique by which God can be heard? Huh? What's your name? Esther. Esther is praying. And God is saying, this prayer, no, reject. Does it have any formula? No. No, even before it comes to your mouth, God knows what Esther wants. That is the level of God we have. So prayer issue is, as soon as you close your eyes, only her mind, her picture will come in front. Then it is more of a, not a, more of his picture, or her picture. Okay. Then it's more of advising God. Lord, you should, somehow, you should. It's either advising or twisting out what comes. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. So, that's the problem with prayer. Prayer is something when you're open, right? Huh? But those words will come out of your mouth. Lord, whoever you want to bring. I will say. Huh? That's what actually goes out of my mind.
There is a fine print we place to God.
So when I asked the professor, he was telling me pray. And also, you are find out what you look for in a person. Then I seriously sat down and wrote list. Some big list. It was there for a long time.
You know what is fine print? What is fine print?
Ask us.
Fine print. Yeah. Where do you find fine print?
Advertisements.
In advertisements. Where will they place the main? Yeah. Where will they place? How big are the letters for their advertisement? Very big, isn't it? And what will the fine print have? What will the fine print have? Conditions. And those are the most important things. And we should be reading that, because that actually is a non-negotiable. So when we pray, we give all the attractive things, and then we give many other things in fine print. Now it is God's responsibility to look at the fine print. What we really want.
So I also wrote. Now with this writing, then I wrote every camp. So this is how every camp used to be. So my friend, my roommate, who will come, when I come after the camp, he'll ask me, Macha, how was the camp? Yes, nice guy. Whether any God's will, whether any God's will. What is the meaning? Anybody on whom did your eyes fall? Right. So I also wrote a list. Then whenever I look for a person and come back with a list, actually I was calling myself. I was cheating myself. The list was actually not this way, it was actually this way. Because first I wrote believer. Because I'm a spiritual man, no? So believer. But actually what I was looking for, believer the least. What was the most? All that you said. They were on top. Is there a problem with that? Say, is there a problem with that? Tell me. What comes to your mind? I know that you're not married. So, but you can say, is there a problem with that? Huh? After all, you need to get to get married to somebody who's good looking, whom you should like. Right? Yeah. Isn't it? So what? Is it wrong? Or what is the problem with that? Um, we used to see our old photographs when somebody sends or sometimes we ourselves look at the albums. Now, I was not as good looking now as I was, which means even my wife now is not as good looking as I found her in the church walking the aisle. What does it mean? What does it mean? Huh? Change. It will change. Money will change. Will come, will go. Physic, somebody said physic. Will come, will go. One sickness, gone. All his muscles gone.
He had a Yamaha that time.
Those days, RX 100 means it is the heart throb. Huh? But now I am riding a cycle. Would you believe? Literally cycle.
Literally cycling.
Literally cycle.
He cycles. We stay in Kodapaka. He cycles to Central or Ramadur or Delhi.
All by cycle.
Everywhere only by cycle.
So things change.
If possible, he would have brought me here also by cycle. I refused.
So if she had married me for the RX 100, now she will be regretting. Oh no. So there are certain things which normally are on top of the list, which can be knocked off.
But first and foremost, we need to be truthful in our own eyes and in God's eyes. Many times when we make these spiritually sounding lists, spiritually right lists, we need to also ask, am I being truthful? Because any change in us, any correction in us, any sense to us, our own thinking, will start when we start becoming authentic, genuine, first in our own eyes. When we are authentic? When are we authentic? When nobody is watching us. Even then, sometimes we don't know ourselves, but God knows. So, first, becoming genuine is the first step. Becoming authentic is the first step. The list may be wrong, but then there is scope for us to be corrected. If we are not authentic, there is no scope for us to be corrected.
See, how many of you want to be mission doctors or go to mission field? Is there anyone here? Okay. You are here. Now, how would meeting the similar kind of a person with a similar passion of going to mission field, you meet. So normally the thing is, wow, we click. She also shares my passion of going to missions. Now, is that all? Is that all? What is there? What else is there? Uh-huh. Will of God. How will you know will of God? Now, what I'm asking is, whatever I can do, is there anything else? Will of God is, not something like a, religious thing, correct? Where we can find. How will I know? What can I do now? Yes, I found somebody who can share my passions. What next? Huh? Pray. Right. I kneel down and pray. I get up. What do I do now? Look, I kneel down and pray. I fast and pray. I pray for 1 month. After that, what? There is a point there. We'll see it later. But after that, what? Imagine you get married to a person who also shares your same passion. You are an anesthetist and he's a surgeon. Wow, you click well. I want to go to Northeast and he also wants to go to Northeast. Wow, we'll click. But after that, from day one, there's a fight in the family. She beats you. She ill-treats you. She doesn't even talk to you. What's the point in being a Northeast or being a surgeon and an anesthetist? See, there are certain things which Kala said as fine prints. Do you want your spouse to respect your father? Huh? How will you know before marriage that this person will respect my parents? Huh? Huh? அது நல்லா இருக்கும். They will treat their parents well. How will you know that this person will treat your parents well? Huh? Somebody said something. Isn't it? Huh? What about it? It's too late. And then you can act. See, we are all good actors. Huh? Even Shivaji Ganesan will fail before us. Particularly when it comes to the opposite sex. We are all good actors. We pretend like anything. When first time when I went to see Kala in one place, I put a lot of perfume and my friend said, hey, don't use this, use this. And he had some very precious perfume. Hugo Boss. It's very, very great. And I took the bottle also with me. Okay, right under bottom of a flyover. I'm going to meet her. Stood there, stopped my bike, push again, then went. So we know how to cheat, how to put a different color.
Is he going to smell like that always?
Yeah. So how do you know? See, when you are going, when you see that person ill-treating or disrespectfully treating a what boy or I am a, you will know that this guy will not respect my father.
How each one treats the lowest
The security.
in the rung, the waiter or the one who sweeps or the helper, whoever, the lowest in the rung, how they treat is how you are going to be treated. That will be the place will be assigned to after marriage. If the person is going to attribute dignity to the socially low, then that person will treat you also with respect. If the person does not treat that person, the lowest rung with respect, they will not treat you also with respect.
When you are in conversation and you hear this person calling somebody and say, hey, I am near MMC, but actually he is near KMC. You know, this person is not truthful. But to you, she has spoken all truth only. That's different. Because that is in
So
different
that
state.
the untruthfulness is in that person. It will come once you're married.
See, the things that you see now, the bad things, so-called bad things. One of my friends who got, going to get engaged, so he went to see her, the fiancé in the college. Both of them go. They got out from the station, railway station, and go to the hostel. So through the way, he was just pretty happy. And she's a very fine girl.
Very fine. We know them and they have actually come now from Canada.
Okay, she's a very fine girl. And this guy, if he's like this before marriage, how will he be after marriage?
He didn't even walk by her side. He was walking in front and she was going behind. And all through he was pitting and going.
And when he gets into a restaurant, he'll just open the door, slam it on her and go. Now, she is a wise girl. She put all these things behind. Because these things are negotiables. Can be, yes, he can't be as fine as me. But doesn't matter. What is needed? Something else. And she found that in him. They are married. They are 30 years married. 30 plus married now. Very happy family. So, what you can brush it aside. What you cannot brush it aside. Just hold it very, non-negotiables. Are the ones.
Keep in mind there are negotiables and non-negotiables. Beauty cannot last. Or a person can become very polished after marriage. It is all changeable. Somebody may be very crude before, but then they become very polished. Somebody may be very fat before, they can become very slim. Or somebody may not know English, but they can always learn English. Many things are there based on which we make decisions. But they are all negotiables. The non-negotiables are, you said character, but have you defined character?
Yeah, that's the problem. You said prayer. After prayer, do I have the mind to listen to God? God speaks in me. He will speak. God will speak to us through His peace. Not the small, as soon as you see that girl, there will be a lot of peace. Wow. Not that peace. That peace is temporal.
It's a thrill.
True. There's some peace that grows. Grows. So, prayer is right. But after that, what? Am I looking at open to God's peace in me? My peace is for this girl, but this girl is too much for me. That's a problem. Then, um, malicious,
Malice. Malice is simply stated cunningness.
cunningness.
சூழ்ச்சி திருட்டுத்தனம். Somebody is malicious. They are going to be malicious. They are going to act against you. So beware of malice. And if we are malicious also, it is time we just put it in God's hands and ask God to remove it from us. Because being malicious, people will be manipulative, abusive, and will destroy. Another is confidence. He is a person confident. Confident is not being loud. Confident is not being top of the class.
Or being standing on the stage and talking.
That is not confidence. Is the person confident enough to own their weaknesses? Is the person confident enough to be authentic? Is the person confident enough to be truthful?
Is the person confident even if he got a worn out chapel, not the ultra boost? Okay, still able to walk confidently. Innada self confidence, that confidence.
Is the person confident enough to be humble? Is the person confident enough to even fail? I took my critical care exam and I came and told him that I didn't do well. Then he told me, um, if you pass, I will give you a treat. Is it good? Is it good? Yes or no? Yes. Then he said, if you fail, I give you a bigger treat. So will I be afraid to fail? I will do my best still. Nobody wants to fail. But if I fail, I know that he will not treat me bad. When we bought the car, he's very fond of vehicles. So he'll be admiring all that. For me, a car is just a box with four wheels and five people to sit. That's all my definition of car is. I don't care and I don't mind also. For me, it is just that. Whereas them, they will be admiring the body, how sleek it is, how the light is. But when we bought a car, our first car was an Alto, and now we have that Honda Brio, that small one. He takes the cycle and I take the car for my work. That's it. When we got the car, I started driving. Um, I had that scratch developed. Then he said, "You drive. Any number of scratches, no problem." And sure enough, I brought many scratches.
She took it very seriously.
You see now my car, it is very bad. But there is no fear. So, how confident is the person to express weaknesses? When I or my daughter and I, to be right, we dress up and come and we say, how do I look? Is this dress good? He says, it is not the dress, it's you who is beautiful. Can we differentiate? Only a person with confidence can say that the person is important and not all these. They may be there, may not be there. There's no right or wrong, but they are not important. So, what did we see? The non negotiables are confidence, authenticity, non malicious, being truthful. Is the person kind? Does the person have kindness in them? Are they able to be compassionate? Can they melt? If not, this is what you are going to face in marriage. And
And is this carrying somebody? See, imagine when you meet a person, they'll be talking stories. My friend was that and blah blah blah, all those things. No? So that time, if you find that person has not forgiven his one of his old friends who did something wrong to him, watch out. When you make a mistake tomorrow, the chances of you getting forgiven is less. Less.
people fight even with a change with soap box or
See,
something like this. When I brought
plastic
flowers,
plastic flower is enough to ruin our marriage.
it's his big day also. And
On a big day, with so much promise, and you will do this all those things. Finally, you dish. You can never be trusted. That's what. No? You can never be trusted.
you let me down in front of my friends.
Not to. You understand? So forgiving. That's another fine print. You have to watch out.
And the last one is the person selfish? Some people look for the best seat, the best leg piece, the best in everything, and they will go to grab it.
See, with you, they'll be very, very nice. You take the piece, you take the leg piece, you take, blah blah. That because that they are in love with you, or they are in a different stage.
It's a wooing period, the attracting period, the marketing period.
But in a common pour, in a bucket full of biryani, where your hand goes to, that talks about you, other person. You see him selfish now, he will 10 times in marriage mode.
These are non-negotiables. The problem is, if you are going to place the negotiables, the beauty, the status, the caste, and the degree, and what they can bring as substance, all these things on top, what happens is, what we look around is, they make sure that they get it. But what we are not sure is whether character is accompanying, whether unselfishness is accompanying, whether authenticity is accompanying. There is no guarantee. So a wise person will go for the non-negotiables. And the negotiables may be there, may not be there. I was bent on marrying a doctor. Then it is a long story. I come from a mixed background, and there was difficulty in finding a believer, all that. But a godly person asked me, "Why are you wanting a doctor?" And I had to face myself. I had to face before God and accept that I was attributing undue status to it, and that was my clinging on to it. When I put it before God, sure enough, He came.
So now we finished. Have as your list inverted the list that you had in your mind before and after the session, or at least it is struggling. You're struggling to invert it. Yeah, that's normal. That's normal. Particularly if you've already fixed a person in mind, very difficult. Okay, but you have to go through this. This is what finally life is all about.
And marriage is not limited to Instagram photos. People may look good or not on Insta, or they may not be on Insta. You don't have to post on Insta or any of the social media. But what matters is what you give.
One of my friends asked me when I was not married at that time, he asked me what kind of a girl you are looking for. I told him she should look like Aishwarya Rai. She should look like Aishwarya Rai, but should have the commitment as Mother Teresa. Then he thought for a while and he said, do one thing. ரெண்டு கல்யாணம் பண்ணிக்கோ. Get married to two people. It is not that they don't go together, but you will have to make up your mind. If your mind is on negotiables as holding them as non-negotiables, finally you will only pay for it, not others, not even your parents. But if you are wise enough to hold to the non-negotiables as the most important, you will reap the benefit of marriage. Marriage is going to be another 50 to 60 years. So this is really a chunk, quite big
And
chunk
it is the
of your
most
life.
intimate of relationships. Now, I want to ask, can you do something about it?
About what?
About choosing the partner.
Ah,
Can you do something about it? Yes. There is something called common sense. Which,
the Bible calls it another day.
what does the Bible call it as?
Wisdom.
And what is the type of wisdom God authenticates? There are two kinds of wisdom mentioned in the Bible. Yes or no? There are two kinds of wisdom mentioned in the Bible. Huh?
Godly wisdom. Godly wisdom.
The wisdom that comes from above, and the wisdom that comes from, yes, God authenticates one wisdom, the wisdom that comes from above. Now, how many of you pray every single day asking for God's wisdom? Great. So does that mean we think we are wise? Wisdom is a given thing. Wisdom is a given thing. It is given from God. But to whom is it given? To whom is it given?
Who asks?
Whoever asks. But do we ask?
We are above wisdom. So we already choose, Lord, I want her. Hey, wisdom. Let's just discuss wisdom later. But I want.
In Sheraton Grand, they are saying whoever can enter and have the buffet and go. If nobody goes, whose fault? Whoever wants can come and eat and go. If we are still starving, whose fault is that? God is telling, He is giving an open invitation. Whoever wants wisdom, let him ask. If we don't ask, you think we don't need it? I can get on, or I already have wisdom. Ask God for wisdom every single day. And the next step is when He is directing in His wisdom, okay.
Okay. Now to summarize, did anyone write what are the things the must or the non-negotiables? We can say one by one. Ah, confidence. Then kindness, non-malicious. Yes. Forgiving, unselfish, authentic, confidence. Good. Any question?
Don't be passive. There's something you can do about it. Employ your mind. Ask God for wisdom and be active in the process of choosing. People may come either directly or whichever means, or your parents may bring, or your friends may bring. It can be any road.
Or your
There is
pastors.
no right or wrong in love marriage or arranged marriage. Nothing matters. What matters is, have you thought about it? And have you asked for God's guidance about it? Be an active participant in it. Don't be just passive and somebody brought and I married.
Yeah. And because I respect that Anand, so he brought, I married. No. Finally, Anand is not going to live.
You are going to live and
You are
it is
going to
your
live.
responsibility to find out the maximum.
Yes.
And still that will be only 10%.
Yes.
90% you will be finding out in marriage.
Just because the pastor brought it, big evangelist brought it, do not. Do not. That's not spiritual. Actually, what you saw, you said, that's only spiritual. Confidence. You see any man of God in the Bible, you have authenticity, unselfishness, truthfulness, forgiving. These are the godly characters. Not because the pastor is involved. My tata is involved. He has brought the 10 or 50 successful proposals. So, he is a master. No, he might fail with the 51st, and that might be you. So, don't.
Respect to a person doesn't mean passive obedience.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Kalavathy ma'am, for sharing us how to deal with everyday stresses, relationship stresses, and goal stresses. And thank you, sir, for giving us a brief idea about the premarital life and how we have to ask for God's will and most importantly, helping us to enjoy the checklist. And let's all pray for the wisdom so that we make right choices in our life. I hope everyone would have filled your name and your contact number and the college name in the paper that was given. If not, please do fill it. And we have received only for two groups we have received the name list with all the phone number and the college names. One from Lionel sir and from Reena ma'am. So others who haven't given to us, we can just hand it over. Now let's welcome students from Balaji Medical College to perform a song. So now we have a skit that will be performed by the Mother Medical College students. Over to you.